Electricity is something we all take for granted. It does its job day after day without us ever seeing it or giving it much thought. But this complacency can make us ignore unsafe conditions that can start fires or cause electrocution. For example, never attach electrical cords with staples, nails, or wire. These can break through the insulation and eventually cause sparks or heat that ignites a fire. Do not run cords through doorways or windows. A closing door or window can pinch the cord, damaging it and leading to sparks or overheating. Always use cords rated for outdoor use if they are placed outside. Indoor cords cannot withstand cold, moisture, or heat and can quickly deteriorate. Avoid overloading cords. Each cord is designed for a maximum amperage. Using equipment that draws too much current can cause the cord to overheat and start a fire. Finally, never leave unsafe cords in service. If you see a damaged or improperly used cord, notify your supervisor or turn it in for replacement. Do not attempt to repair a cord unless you are authorized. Quick action can prevent accidents and fires. Should a fire, chemical spill, or other emergency occur that requires evacuation, it is critical that we follow our pre-arranged emergency action plans. This means we must evacuate immediately and assemble at our designated meeting areas. It can be tempting to ignore an alarm, assuming it is a false alarm or just a drill. Some people may even hesitate, trying to figure out what is going on before leaving. But you must avoid these temptations for your own safety and the safety of others. When someone does not report to their assigned meeting place, their supervisor cannot confirm that they are safe. This forces emergency responders to risk their lives re-entering the danger area to search for that person. This is why it is so important to review and know your emergency evacuation procedures. Make sure you know the exact location of your primary meeting area. Also, be aware of any secondary or backup meeting areas in case smoke, chemical vapors, or other hazards make the primary location unsafe. Finally, remember the alarms and signals used in your workplace, whether they are bells, sirens, or public announcements. For your safety, and for the safety of emergency responders, always report to your designated meeting area right away when an alarm sounds. The odds of harm increase greatly when someone does not follow the plan. Do not put yourself, or others, at risk. If a fire or other emergency requires us to evacuate, it is critical that we are able to exit quickly and safely. Unsafe conditions can mean the difference between a quick escape and disaster. Always make sure designated emergency exit doors remain unlocked from the inside whenever the building is occupied. If you notice broken or malfunctioning doors, handles, or hardware, report them immediately so they can be repaired. Never store equipment, materials, or other obstructions in front of exit doors or along escape pathways. Exits must also remain clear on the outside of the building. Blocking an exit from either side can prevent people from escaping during an emergency. Do not place curtains, decorations, signs, or other items over exit doors or across aisleways. These can make exits difficult to locate in an emergency. Report any exit signs or emergency lighting that are not working so they can be fixed. Avoid storing flammable liquids or combustible materials under or near stairways, ramps, or exit routes. These materials can increase the danger during an evacuation. If a door along your path to an exit could easily be mistaken for an emergency exit, let your supervisor know. It may need to be clearly marked as not an exit or labeled for its actual purpose. Finally, if you are unsure where your designated exits and emergency aisles are located, ask your supervisor right away. Knowing your escape routes before an emergency occurs is critical for safety. Once a fire is extinguished, it is common to relax. However, the area may still contain several hazards that could put you at risk. Be aware that floors near the fire may be very slippery due to water or other extinguishing materials, such as foam or powder. Always walk carefully and avoid running around the area. Cartons, boxes, and other containers can be weakened by flames or water. Stay clear of these items, especially if they are stacked on shelves, to prevent them from falling. The heat from a fire can cause pressure to build up inside nearby canisters or cylinders containing gases or liquids. These containers may burst if handled roughly, so allow them to cool before moving or touching them. Embers can continue to smolder long after a fire is out. These embers may reignite the fire if they are near combustible materials. Inspect carefully for smoldering areas and cool them with water or other extinguishing media if found. Burning materials can create toxic byproducts, such as carbon monoxide, which is colorless and odorless. Plastics and flammable liquids may produce other harmful gases as well. Ensure the area is well ventilated before inspecting or cleaning up. If you are unsure about the safety of the atmosphere, have a safety professional or firefighter check it with a gas detector before entering. Accidental fires are uncommon in most workplaces, which can make it easy to overlook everyday hazards. Following a few general tips can prevent fires at work and at home. Always dispense flammable liquids in areas free from sparks, flames, or other ignition sources. Keep all containers closed when not in use, and return them to their designated storage areas after use. When transferring flammable liquids from one container to another, bond and ground the containers. This prevents static electricity, which could create a spark and ignite the vapors. Dispose of rags and waste materials that contain flammable or combustible liquids, oil, or grease in covered, self-closing metal containers, usually colored red. Empty these containers into designated receptacles at the end of your shift. Keep waste paper, cardboard, and other combustible materials cleaned up and in proper receptacles. Accumulations of these items create unnecessary fire hazards. Only use flame or spark-producing equipment, such as welders, torches, and grinders, in designated areas. Special management approval is required to use this equipment elsewhere. Smoke only in designated areas and dispose of cigarette butts properly. Maintain at least 18 inches of clearance below fire sprinkler heads. Stacking materials too close can prevent sprinklers from working effectively during a fire. Finally, ensure portable fire extinguishers are fully charged and accessible at all times. Having a portable fire extinguisher nearby is important, but preventing a fire from starting is even better. One key to fire prevention when handling and storing flammable liquids is understanding the categories of flammable liquids as specified by OSHA. OSHA classifies flammable liquids into 4 categories: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Although all can burn, some ignite much more easily than others and therefore require stricter precautions. It is not the liquid itself that burns, but the vapors it produces. The temperature at which a liquid generates enough vapors to form an ignitable mixture with air is called the flash point. The lower the flash point, the easier the liquid can ignite. Another factor is the boiling point. Liquids with lower boiling points vaporize at lower temperatures and are therefore more likely to ignite. Category 1 flammable liquids have the lowest flash points and boiling points, making them the easiest to ignite. Categories 2, 3, and 4 have progressively higher flash points and are harder to ignite. This difference is reflected on container labels and safety data sheets. Category 1 and 2 liquids display the signal word danger, while categories 3 and 4 display warning. Always pay close attention to these categories and follow all label and SDS precautions for safe storage and use. Proper handling helps prevent fires and injuries. It does no good to be trained on using a portable fire extinguisher if it is not ready or available when needed. Here are steps to ensure extinguishers remain ready for use. Always keep a clear, unobstructed path to each extinguisher. Do not store pallets, toolboxes, trash cans, or other items in front of them. Never hang coats, equipment, or extension cords on an extinguisher. While convenient, this can slow access during an emergency. Extinguishers receive a thorough maintenance inspection annually by an outside company, and inspection tags must remain attached. Report any untagged extinguisher to your supervisor. Conduct a visual inspection at least once a month. Check for damage, deterioration, and make sure the needle on pressure-activated extinguishers is in the green full zone. Report any issues for recharging or repair. After using an extinguisher, even if you only pull the pin, it must be turned in for inspection and recharging. Breaking the seal can reduce pressure and affect performance in future emergencies. If you notice any extinguisher that is damaged, inaccessible, missing, or not hanging in its designated place, correct the problem or notify your supervisor immediately. This helps keep everyone safe. Using a portable fire extinguisher seems simple until you face a real fire. Many people report their mind goes blank and they are unable to operate the extinguisher properly. We have reviewed selecting the correct extinguisher and how it works. Now, we will review the 4 steps to follow when using a portable extinguisher, remembered easily by the word PASS. P stands for pull the pin. The pin prevents accidental discharge and must be removed for the extinguisher to function. It is usually held in place by a thin plastic seal. A stands for aim at the base of the fire. Direct the extinguishing media at the material that is actually burning. S stands for squeeze the handle from a safe distance. This discharges the extinguishing media. If using a CO2 extinguisher, avoid touching the discharge nozzle to prevent frostbite. S stands for sweep side to side across the base of the fire. Make sure the extinguishing media completely covers the burning material. Monitor the area for flare-ups after the fire appears out. These 4 steps, pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep, are simple, but can be forgotten in an emergency. Never attempt to fight a fire with an extinguisher if you are unsure about your ability to do so, safely and effectively. Different types of materials burn differently, and not all fires can be put out with the same extinguisher. There are 5 classes of fire materials and corresponding types of portable extinguishers. Class A extinguishers are used on ordinary combustibles, such as paper, wood, cardboard, and dried vegetation, materials that leave ash after burning. Class B extinguishers are for flammable and combustible liquids, like gasoline, diesel, oil-based paints, and solvents. Class C extinguishers are suitable for fires involving electrically energized equipment, including appliances, tools, or equipment that is plugged in. Class D extinguishers are for combustible metals, such as magnesium or sodium, and are often specific to a particular type of metal. Ordinary carbon steel is not included. Class K extinguishers are designed for fires involving cooking oils and fats, such as vegetable or animal-based oils in kitchens. Extinguishers are labeled with the classes of fires they are designed to extinguish. A Type A extinguisher is only for Class A fires, while a Type ABC extinguisher covers multiple classes. If you are unsure about the extinguishers suitable for your work area, consult your safety manager or supervisor for guidance. We have already covered how to select the proper type of fire extinguisher and the pass method for using it. However, portable extinguishers are not appropriate for all situations, and using them increases the risk of injury. Always notify someone else about the fire before attempting to use an extinguisher. They can activate the fire alarm and watch your safety while you fight the fire. Make sure the fire is small. Portable extinguishers are intended for incipient stage fires that have just started. Do not attempt to fight large fires that require protective clothing or respiratory equipment. Watch for hazards, such as spilled flammable liquids that could ignite or cause you to slip. Burning materials can also release toxic gases, so avoid fires that are already producing a lot of smoke. Always maintain a clear escape route. Keep the fire in front of you and an exit behind you so you are never trapped. Even after extinguishing a fire, monitor for flare-ups. Embers can continue to smolder and reignite the fire, so watch for smoke or heat in the debris. Finally, always turn in extinguishers for recharging after any use. Pulling the pin breaks the seal and reduces pressure. Never remount an extinguisher after use. Have it checked and recharged first. Three things must be present for a fire to burn: fuel, oxygen, and heat. By removing one of these, you can extinguish the fire. Different types of portable fire extinguishers work in different ways. Water extinguishers are filled with water pressurized with air. They cool the burning material below its ignition temperature and are effective on Class A fires, such as paper, wood, cloth, and many plastics. Do not use water on Class B flammable liquids or Class C electrical fires. Carbon dioxide, or CO2, extinguishers work by displacing the oxygen the fire needs to burn. They are effective on Class B fires but should be used cautiously in small, enclosed spaces, as they can also reduce the oxygen you need to breathe. Dry chemical extinguishers use a fine inert powder pressurized with nitrogen to smother the fire, similar to throwing a blanket over it. Many are combination extinguishers rated for Class A, B, and C fires and are commonly found in workplaces. All portable fire extinguishers are labeled to indicate the fire classes they can safely extinguish. Take time to familiarize yourself with the extinguishers in your work area and at home, and if you have any doubts, consult your safety manager or supervisor. Fire safety is everyone's responsibility. By preventing fires, preparing for emergencies, and knowing how to use extinguishers, we can keep the workplace safe.